Right, another one of the cab sessions here today, and we're with Derek Delahunty. He is now the sales manager for Lemken, Ireland. But Derek, you're very welcome here today.
Thanks, Dave.
Aside from the fact that we're here in the field doing demonstrations, we've just taken out 5 or 10 minutes to talk to you. So, I could make it easy and start at the start of the Lemken journey, but that's too easy.
Right.
So you're a man who has done a lot of travelling and a lot of things, so we're going to bring you back, same as I ask everybody else, Derek.
Yeah.
You left school, leave insert done, fired the school bag in over the ditch on the way home. Start from there. Where did you go and what did you do? Now, I suppose firstly we should say you're from contracting background at home. Your father is still pottering away and doing a bit of silage and things.
Yeah.
So that was there in the background. So talk to us. Leave insert done, dusted.
Leave insert done and dusted, and so like everybody back in the day, you know, we're looking at 1996.
No, don't be showing your age. Stay going, stay going.
Back then, you know, a lot of the things were kicking off, I suppose, in the building side. A lot of boys were heading off, they're becoming block layers and plasters and one thing and another. And, you know, I'd done a little bit of that and dabbled in a bit, but you know, managed to get myself in with a pretty secure job at the start, right? I ended up working for Waterford Stanley for a couple of months. Building the old cookers and, you know, working with a good crew inside there.
Stanley was the place to be in now. You were on. You didn't walk in the door there now too easy.
Kilkenny, Waterford, Waterford Stanley was a good place to be in it, and a great start to get involved because again you had such a wide variety of people and a lot of people from the country. So that worked out grand, you know. But again, took about 6 or 7 months inside there, and then you know, slowly but surely realising the factory job going to be for me now. This is I need more. Like I said to a man from Waterford one day, I said I'd much rather be out picking stones down with me inside in this place. So I decided I had enough, and sure, silage season was coming up, so I went on home and I started working with my father then for the summer, and you know, one thing led to another, and then all of a sudden you realise, yeah, silage ain't going to last forever. We're going to need a job here. So yeah. Ended up then drifting around a bit. I actually worked for a block layer for a while, and a few bits and pieces got me through another year. And then fortunately enough, I think it was 1998, about 2 years after leaving, yeah, an opportunity came up with a local tractor dealer.
It's alright, you can mention Murphy's at Glenmore. This is a non-biased interview.
Right,
okay.
Yeah, so I ended up working below on Murphy's at Glenmore, and really enjoyed that, and got into the swing of that. And you know, give me a couple of years, served my time as an apprentice mechanic down there. And unfortunately, like a lot of people, I suppose, and to be fair to Murphy's, they looked after me well, but I got the itch and I had to travel. And yeah, so like it was during the course of time when I was meeting all the different guys from around the country in Foss, brainwave came up with one of the boys, geez, we go to Australia and we cut a bit of corn. And I was one of the first to say, no, I'm going to stay on for another while. But slowly but surely the idea weaned in, and all of a sudden, yeah, off we went. And to be fair to it, the boys I travelled with that year... Prior
to this now, you hadn't been outside of South Kilkenny or Waterford, like it was suddenly Australia, so it's only over the road.
It's only over the road. And I always remember when I was leaving, like we left Ireland a month after 9/11. So like a serious time for a young person to be travelling. My parents were very worried. And as a young man, you know, I considered all this, and I rang him home at Christmas to tell him I was okay. After being gone for 3 months. Yeah, so like that was
fair sound, you know.
Yeah, fair sound.
Yeah.
Jeez, if I'd done it today, they're not.
Oh, you'd choke them, wouldn't you? Yeah.
For sure. So, but yeah, no, and that was it. Then I came back after that, and like I've stayed involved in the ag industry ever since. Like I've been self-employed. I've had my own business. I've been running alongside my father's contract, and I started my own contracting business. I ran diggers, I ran various different machines, but I always tended to travel. So like I always tended to go away, and I've worked in New Zealand for several years in the winter time. Obviously, your contract and your seasonal work, and yeah, I always had that travel bug.
You're one of the best cases I know of that now, where you did the seasonal thing. So you came back, you cut silage at home here for the summer with your father and done the business and done your own side of it. And then you faced back to New Zealand every year. And it wasn't necessarily back to the harvesting side of it. Like you were a mechanic and things over there as well for a while.
I kept very close to the spanners. I always enjoyed working on machinery. I was happy in a gearbox. Okay. Like I was always quite happy to take on projects. And even the contractor I worked in with New Zealand, remember we had trouble with a big 926 Fendt. No one was going to touch it at the time because, you know, it's very difficult to get a lot of things done down there. But hey, I said, try and tackle this.
Young and no fear, of course.
No fear, and in on we went, and like so I was always willing to tackle projects. I always had a tendency to like projects nobody else wanted, so I'd bring them on that way. And to be fair, yeah, I always kept close to the spanners. So it was always part of what I'd done. And you know, time goes on. Eventually, 2007, I was due to go to New Zealand, and I remember ringing the girl in the travel agents who's godmother to one of my children there now at the minute, and I says, I might be going this year. And she says, why is that, Derek? I said, yeah, I might have met someone. I need to change that flight. And that was grand. And sure, before I knew it then, life goes on.
Yeah. The one thing that steadies us all. The
steadies us all up.
Yeah.
And I remember, my son was born then in 2011. You know, so like that for me was a big change. I said, right, something has to happen here there now, so we have to.
So you came into Lemken then. Sure, I'm dealing with you as long as you're in Lemken. I was in Lemken, not in Lemken, but working with Lemken equipment. But you came in originally as a service guy.
Yeah, so I would have taken the job. I started on the 20th of August 2012.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
So 20th of August 2012 started as the area sales manager for Ireland for Lemken. So I was the first area sales manager. I worked with my colleague Dermot Claridge. He had been there a year before me. Yeah. Dermot has since moved on to another company or whatever. So I was service manager then for 5.5 years. So that I really enjoyed that work. And again, the travel bug was always in me, so I had never any fear of going anywhere. There's 32 counties in this country, and any week I could be in all 4 corners of the country. I didn't mind traveling, and for me that was one of the good things. I was able to get out and get going. And to this day, you know me now, you could ring me, I could be anywhere.
No, you could, yeah. In fairness,
and it's just so, and like to be fair, I'm now coming for 14 years here with Lemken, 2026. Yeah.
Right, you're in Lemken. Yeah. You're 2025, here we are outside in the fields. Yeah. Getting ready after a smashing crop of winter grain, and like you and I always do this time of the year, we get ready to do demonstration machines and things. But let's talk about where Lemken is at and where Lemken is going, Derek, right? So anyone that knows, I'm involved with Lemken 25 odd years, and I was involved with in the previous dealer before that. I suppose I'm 30 years working with Lemken in this country. Yeah. It's a well-established product. Tell us a little bit about Lemken itself though. The short version, if you could.
Well, sure, the short version of Lemken is, I suppose, the company is a very well-known, well-established company. We're into the 7th generation. This is Nicola Lemken now is the 7th generation. The 8th generation we've met in and around the factory. So, like, it's a family-run business, and a very very much based around the whole family ethos, and everyone looks after each other. Like, we can pick up the phone, I can talk to any of the lads in Germany, we've great communication, and we try to pass that on between ourselves and between when we work with like yourselves. Like, sure, have you ever had an issue getting information out of me or getting help out of us? No, it's about cooperation.
No, Lemken is as good a franchise as I've ever worked.
And I think what you have to look to in the future of farming and what goes on, especially in Ireland, I keep telling people, collaboration is the only way forward. We as a manufacturer, you as a dealer, the customers, we all need to come together. We all need to come up with solutions, come up with ideas to progress, and that's one thing that's very good. Recently, I would have had one of the product managers come across from Germany. We travelled around Ireland, we went to meet all the customers. Why? Because we need to see where is the mind at with the farmers, what they want to do, where do they see the future going. Because if we make decisions now, it could take, if we develop a new machine, it takes 7 years to get that machine to market. 7 years, Dave, like that's not long going. You think, oh, that's an awful long time, but it passes very quickly. So therefore, we like to see ourselves closely rooted to what goes on. What we see happening for the future is that we're going to have issues with regards to labour, succession, legislation. All these things have to be covered. You can see it in the tractor side. We're sitting on a tractor today, the average horsepower is now 240. When we would have started back in the day, sure, we were setting up Rubens back 12-14 years ago on 160 horsepower.
Yeah, I was actually talking about it the other day when I sold my first Rubens. I was working them on 6620 SE at the time, going around the roads. I remember well, 06, Good Friday 06, I hit the road here with a 6620 SE and a Ruben disc. Yeah. And frowned upon on TFM to sell anything on a Good Friday, but over that weekend, like, it was a smashing machine to work. Like, we sold two or three of them, just getting out there and working. But that a 6620 SE was a very basic 130 horsepower that time. Consider the toy by any standards today. You know? So it is, and here we are on now, it's 25 years later, and 240, which is double that horsepower,
is now the norm.
Yeah.
Like, there's a 400 horsepower tractor now in every village nearly, And why is that? It's because the whole, it's the community that's involved in the farm is changing, but again, it's the whole systems are changing. Because again, we're getting shorter and shorter windows with less people. there's huge reliance now on technology. So we as a manufacturer have to look at that. So you're asking, we say, where are Lemken going? Well, Lemken are watching that closely. We're making sure then that we're going to be still on top of our game in 10 years time, in 20 years time. The 8th generation is coming into the business. We have to make sure that the business is there for the 9th and the 10th and so on. Like, you know what I mean? So we're embedded in this for the future in a big way. And Lemken has always been good at that. We developed some really good systems like the disc harrows, like the developments we had with sea drills. Our sea drill is very well known on the market. You know, we have a double disc compressed wheel system that's on the market since the early 90s, you know, at this stage. You know what I mean? Really developed on. Most manufacturers now are copying that. You know, why? Because it works so well. You know, so therefore we have to keep in on that. And yes, there's changes and advances, but you know, for us it's to realise, you know, what's the change here? Well, the change here is, if you look at this field we're in today, this would have been ploughed 20 years ago. But now people are looking at soil structure. You know,
to be honest with you, talking to the man that gave us a loan of this field today now to do the work we're doing, like anything bar ploughed. Yeah. Like he pretty much said, you can grub it, you can disc it, you can till it, you can do anything you like with it. Yeah. But don't plough it. Yeah. And I said, that's fair enough. Like, and to be fair, he gave us 42 acres here to do what we like with it. Yeah. But like, as you said, 20 years ago, it was automatically do what you like with the field. It's going to be ploughed anyway. You know how it has changed. Oh, you know, like it's phenomenal. That is. And look, that's kind of where I was going with the whole Lemken product side of things there. You know, like, we are no longer, everyone associates Lemken with the plough. Yeah. Plough is a big part of the business, there's no doubt about it. Yeah. But it is the min-till systems and the technology type of things is what's driving agriculture going forward. Like. Oh yeah. And I'm not long enough to see it, and you're long enough to see it.
Labour is one of those key things for the future. Like, we need to be able to go out and we need to be able to get this work done efficiently. Yeah. And like, what are we trying to do at the end of the day? We're trying to create a seed bed for a little seed to establish itself in the ground, and we have to do that properly to make sure it germinates and it gets going and it thrives in the ground. We have to look at soil structures, we have to look at how we work the ground, what we done last year, how it affects what we do next year. You know, that's why we have the spade out, we have the soil compaction tester. I was showing you the soil temperatures there a minute ago. We're digging it up. We have to pay more attention. We ourselves have to become better educated. You know, we all, and that's a collaborative thing as well. Like.
When we talk about the things we have to do for next year, so we'll go away from the worms and the ground, the barley for next year, right? And we'll deal with that as the evening goes on. But let's talk a little bit about Derek again for a minute. Like, where do you see yourself, Derek, in the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Yeah,
do you see yourself getting out of the game, staying in the game?
If I look back, right?
Do you still get enough of a kick out of the game?
Go back to 1996 and you're coming out of school.
Would you stop mentioning the last century?
A clue as a young person where you want to be. Would I have seen myself where I am today? No. But you know what? Destiny brought me to where I am today. And I think once you keep a good work ethic, life will look after you if you look after yourself and if you look after the people around you. And you know what? Where will I be in 10 years' time? I have no intention of leaving Lemken in the next 10 years. You know, I'm quite happy where I am. I'm liking what I'm doing. I'm evolving the whole time. I'm learning every day. And I think we're all the same. It's not that we become complacent that we're just going to stay here. No, we're going to keep moving. We're going to keep pushing forward. And the directions, we don't know what direction we're going to be going. Only the fact is that we're going to focus ourselves on doing our job right and paying attention to what's going on around us, and wherever that's going to bring us, the roads can change, the roads can vary, but we'll still be there pushing on, you know, when we get there. So like,
I'll bring you to the last question then, I suppose. Mikey Dell, your father, still functioning away, and you told me there a while ago that he's coming on 80 years of age, no notion of retiring. Yeah. And then you're 50 odd, and of course your kids then are coming of age. Your two are at home there now, and they're not quite gone out into the world yet, but would you encourage your kids to get into the game?
I definitely encourage them to get into agriculture. Yeah, like it's a fantastic opportunity, because again, if you've got a travel bug, you can go anywhere in the world if you're able to work agriculture. You're working with farm machinery, you're working with some great people all around. Like, you know what I mean? You have a great opportunity in regards to technology. You know, it really does. It tests you.
It is a license to travel. Yeah. If you can do agriculture, you can get a job in any climate or continent, can't you?
100%, like, you know. So again, and you're out. Hey, human beings weren't meant to be cooped up inside in offices. We're very lucky in what we do. We're out every day and we're out meeting people and we're communicating, and that's good for the soul. Like, so at the end of the day, we're out there doing what we want to do. Yes, I would encourage my children to come into the industry, no doubt about it. Would I encourage them to go to college? I'm going to be very out of this, but like, no, they can go to college if they want. There's a big world out there. If you're prepared to go out and work, college isn't necessarily going to be
the college education. And don't get me wrong, there's a place for everything, but there is a world outside of college. As in, if you're just not meant for books. You know, it's there's ways to get.
These fingers weren't made for holding pens.
No, but they were also half an inch longer when you started in the trade. Right. On that note, Derek Delahunty with Lemken. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, David.